Quality, innovation, respect, and integrity. Take steps to invest in your career. International Management Consultancy is the leading global marketplace for learning and instruction, helping professionals across the industry to develop skills and expertise to get recognition and growth in the corporate world. We are one of the leading training providers and gradually spreading our training facility amongst candidates based at different geographies, such as Canada, United States of America, United Arab Emirates, Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Lebanon, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines, India, and many other countries across the globe. IMC is accredited by the highest industry standards. We put in the efforts and we work to prove our commitment to offering our clients only the best and of superior quality. With a uniquely immersive curriculum that combines live instruction from the leading experts, peer-to-peer collaboration, on-demand lessons, unlimited online trainings, and 24/7 learning support. IMC helps over thousands of professionals learn their skills needed to advance their careers and reach their full potential. In line with our commitment to excellence, IMC offers a number of training courses preparing professionals for certifications and exams given by the international associations in areas like management, finance and accounting, human resources, sales and marketing, quality administration, and as well as project management. By fully attending these courses and successfully completing the requirements of the certifying body, participants will receive a special certificate which recognizes their dedication and commitment and in many cases help them earn valuable continuing education credit. IMC Consultants has been working together with their clients from various industries in aligning their people and processes to compete through high speed, excellent quality, and low cost. We strongly believe that the key to our success is our total commitment in delivering value to our clients based on integrity, honesty, and openness. If you are uncertain about which roles or skills are best for you, hurry! Come visit our website or talk to our expert education consultants today. Take a step, invest in your future, empower your knowledge, and be one of our success stories. International Management Consultancy, excellence is what we deliver.
Thank you. Coming back on today's data science webinar, what is data science? A data science looks at a multiple sources and multiple formats in the business. Also chooses the right type and has a potential to boost the value organizations. Now imagine the world of potential opportunities offered by data science. Now let us quickly move on to the next part. What is data science? Data science is nothing but scientific thinking, strategical methods, computer engineering, innovative technologies. Let us know what are the industries which are mostly impact on data science industries. That is nothing but banking and insurance, telecom and high tech, automobile, media enterprises, retail and e-commerce, travel and logistics, healthcare, government and public sectors. So these are the industries which have a very big impact on data science. End of the day, who should join this course? Any idea? Yeah, let me explain you. There are 3 options who can join this course. No further delay. Fresh graduates, IT and non-IT, aspiring to build a prosperous career in data science. Number 2, the professionals striking to take a big deep forward in their career graph. And third, non-IT professionals passionate to shift their career to flourishing data science. End of the day, the more you learn, the more you earn. That's life. Next, let we get into the topic. Today's topic we are talking about get introduced to data science opportunities. Get introduced to data science opportunities for business and data science enthusiastic. We have a trainer today, Mr. Nikhil Garg. Mr. Nikhil is a teacher, corporate trainer, and a data science by profession. He started his professional career with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI, one of the most reputed organizations in the world. Gradually, his excellence and demand extended his network from one to many allied organizations. Key areas of teaching involved data science, machine learning, deep learning, predictive analytics, big data analysis, corporate finance, financial management, risk management, data visualization, forecasting, modeling data for startups, etc. Oh my God, it is seriously a heavy, big list. That's great. And next, as a researcher, he have gathered 15 publications on his name in top-notch national and international journals. He have been awarded as the best paper contributor in the area of finance from top organization like Amity University. His papers have been accepted in organizations like IIT as well. He is a committed lifelong learner and he will continue to grow as a teacher and mentor, and his knowledge of subject matters throughout his time at our institute. Welcome you once again, sir. I would like to pass on the host key to Mr. Nikhil.
Thank you so much, Shamya. Thank you for being so kind to me while introducing and
Thank you.
giving that precious detail to all the people here. So, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this session, the session on data science career as a opportunities, what expectations, and the whether the hype that we have been talking about, the hype that has been created around this word, how real and how well this hype is. So this journey that we'll be taking with each other for some time today. So I would try to give you uh, probably all the possibilities what you can think in data science. So I don't mind speaking Hindi provided the people here are comfortable in that or in the English language. So that's the problem. Otherwise, I don't mind speaking Sayed. But we have international people here. So I think English is the common language or common connection between all of us. But if you find any issue in that, okay, if you find anything, we are most welcome to ask me if there is any issue you want to talk about in between. Okay. So yeah. So this journey that we will be taking with each other for I'm John, I'm using English only, don't worry, all right? So don't worry about that. As I'm using English as a common language here in this session. So this journey that we will be taking together for some time. So I would clarify you about what data science is and why this term has become such a hype over a period of time, and whether this hype is actually real or not. The biggest important question here is that how real this hype is. Is it a fluke, or is it just a matter of chance, or is this actually making some sense in the real world? So we'll be looking into those aspects in this session, and probably these aspects will give you very clear understanding that uh, whether you should really move ahead in this direction or not, or whether uh, if you have been thinking so far of moving ahead in this direction, so how good you have been, or how correct you have been. So probably I believe that you will get all those answers in the day's session. Just give me 2 minutes before I begin anything sharing with you. And we have a chat box here, or the conversation box here. So if you have any questions, please you can put it in the chat box. But what I will suggest is that, so that the fluency of the session is maintained, the efficiency of the session is maintained, I will automatically give you some pauses in between. So in those pauses, if you feel there is anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask, please place your question in the conversation box or in the chat box, and I would be happy to answer. But kindly avoid placing questions in between. Kindly avoid placing questions in between, because that will only disturb the flow of the session. I will myself give you sufficient pauses where you can ask me if anything is required. So that is one thing that I will definitely desire from this kind of spectators that I have for the day. So nevertheless, no, I have not started anything displaying, my dear friend. I'll be starting it. Okay. All right. Shamya has been kind enough to introduce me, but this page I by default open to Sayed. Hold on. I will give you everything. Just let me just begin. I will give you pause and you will understand that what it is all about, right? Why it is important, why it is not important, all that stuff. This session is about that only. So this is me. And if you wish to know anything about me, watch in more detail about me, then I will recommend you to visit my LinkedIn profile. You can connect me as well if you desire. You will find nearly approx 70 recommendations that I have so far from beautiful learners from across the world. Uh, Out of them, some are belonging to corporate world, some are belonging to academics or research world, some are belonging to different professions and the people who wanted to transit to the field of data science. So a lot of good people have shown their faith, have shown their trust on me over a period of time. And as a matter of fact, I'm in this industry from last 13 years or so. So I spend a lot of time in instructing people in different areas. I think I started in around about 2009, 2008. That's the year I started, and most of the period I have worked as a freelance contractual professional. Uh, Most of my life has been in that mode, and I think instructing people, uh, talking to them, have conversations with them, I think this is one of the best things that I can do. Like every person has its own strength. So I think this is one area where it's not only my profession, but probably it has become my passion over a period of time. I have trained approximately 1 lakh plus learners in last 13 years. Every month, I train approximately 700 participants, 600, 700 participants on an average. Uh, 8,000 learners every year get trained through me. That's bare minimum. It could be more as well, but that's the bare minimum number. 8,000 learners every year uh, are getting trained through me in different domains. So it's like I think maybe 1 lakh plus people that have come through me. And I think in terms of number of sessions, though on a honest note, I never counted, but I think every month I take approximately 656 bare minimum. That means 660, around 60, 70 trainings in a year. So you can calculate, I think I have crossed 1500 plus trainings in last 10 years, maybe on that basis. So it's been a very long time for me, a very interesting journey for me, because not because I tend to teach people, but probably because uh, I tend to meet some interesting people like you who share their experiences. Like I believe that teaching is one profession which is a very continuous learning process, not for the learner, but I think more for the instructor, because we meet people like you belonging to different professional backgrounds, belonging to different cultures, uh, belonging to different experiences, different professions, and that automatically teaches us a lot of things. So that's the reason I have been happy about this profession, and it has actually become my passion over a period of time. Well, coming to this term data science. Now, there's undoubtedly there's no deny that this term has become one of the most hyped terms in last, especially in last 4 5 years. And let me tell you, to be on an honest note, this hype is not false. It's perfectly true. It's perfectly correct. And we are living in a world where the data is exploding like anything. You need to understand that why there has been a sudden surge in last some time when we talk about these analytical profiles or data science profile or data analysis profile or quantitative analysis profile, because in last some time, with the revolution of internet, revolution of social media, social networks, sharing of information, globalization, the data has exploded like anything. And it is exploding, what I say, exponentially, or I think more than exponentially. There was a time when only big major corporates wanted to take their decisions on the basis of data. Now we are living in a world where, whether you talk about big organizations, you talk about mid-scale organizations, you talk about small-scale organizations, you talk about governments of different countries, you talk about economies, small economies, growing economies, developed economies, everyone wants to make decision on the basis of data. Nobody wants to run hits and trials, because everyone wants that their decision perhaps should be the uh, most efficient decision that could have taken, that they could take at that particular point of time. And without data, this is not possible. Without data, this is not possible that one can take efficient or effective decisions that can give you a better view of the future. But we are actually living in a world. We are actually living now, have started living in a world where, with the explosion of data that is happening, we have companies, corporates, entities, governments, economies who actually work on the basis of data, who are totally relying or want to make decisions on the basis of data only. They don't want to go for hits and trials and see that what's going to happen next. And that is the reason that now we are living in a world where these companies are asking for professionals, for skilled professionals who can actually do this job. The companies, the world has started demanding those professionals who can actually do this job. And when I say that they can do this job, I'm not talking about one single ideology, but I'm talking about many things. When I say that you want to be a data scientist, that means as a skilled professional, listen to me very carefully, as a skilled professional, you need to have the quality of reading data, understanding data, exploring data, visualizing data, describing data, gathering insights from the data, and then delivering those insights, that is communicating those insights to the management or maybe to the stakeholders or to the investors who have to make decisions or who want to make efficient and good decisions. So your job as a data scientist will not be like one single unidirectional. Your job as a data scientist will not be a unidirectional kind of thing. It's a multitasking or a multi-directional stuff where as a data scientist, you are supposed to do every kind of stuff. So right from probably data extraction to processing data, understanding data, exploring data statistically, visually, gathering insights from the data, deciding what algorithms you should really go for, because we have numerous number of algorithms with us. So which method, which algorithm I should work. So this is a very cumbersome decision that as a data scientist you have to take. And that is the reason this is one of the most skilled career paths of 2022 and probably for next few decades to come. And that's the reason this particular term data science, which by general means the science of dealing with data, has evolved as one of the most promising and in-demand career paths, not today, but I think maybe for decades to come, we can expect this thing, because we are actually living in a world where data are not going to stop. As this world will grow, the data will grow. As the data will grow, the more and more demand for professionals will definitely increase, and the world will demand for these people who can actually do these kind of stuff. So my dear friends, this hype that has been created around this term data science, this hype is not a fluke. This hype is not a false hype. It's actually true. It's actually viable, and it's actually happening in this world. But the interesting part is how this all started. Means it's not like that data analysis was not happening in this world before data science. If anybody believes that, if any one of you believes that, then probably you need to correct yourself. So it is not like that, that before this evolution of this term data science or concept of data science, the world was dying, or there was nothing that could help companies in making decisions. If you think so, I think you need to rectify yourself. Because if I define you data science, means typically the way it was defined back in 2012 in one of the papers of Harvard Business Review, because that is the point from where this term actually became popular. Up till 2010, 2012, if you look into any official documents, this term was never a part of the discussion. This term was never a part of the real world. But yes, in 2012, in one of the white papers of Harvard Business Review, this term was defined, the data science was defined. And the definition is very interesting, because that is the point from where this term data science actually started gaining popularity. And data science was defined, listen to me this definition very carefully. Data science was defined as the area of study to perform analytics. Data science is performing analytics. What is data science? Data science is performing analytics with the help of a programming language. Performing analytics with the help of a programming language. This is how this term was defined in that paper. That means it was thought that what could, if we have a programming language that can help us in performing analytics, That means in performing or in doing all the stuff of data analysis. But I don't want to use a tool. I want to use a programming language. So it is not like that the analysis or analytics was never happening in this world before this term. No, that's not the fact. I think analytics, statistics, analysis is as old as we can go back to, 2 decades. But most of the analysis that we have been doing is with the help of tools, not with the help of language, with the help of tools. Malini, I think try to rejoin. I think that should solve your problem. Try to rejoin once. All right. Then let me know if still you have the problem. So so it is not like that the analysis was not happening in this world before 2012. No, that's not the case. Analytics, I don't know how much old it is. I think it is older than our generation, or much older than our generation. But whatever analytics had been performing was with the help of tools like Microsoft Excel. I think many of you might be working with Microsoft Excel very commonly in your organizations. So Microsoft Excel is one tool that can help you in doing lots of analytical stuff with regard to different kind of data. Similarly, if you want to have some specialized type of thing, you want to perform some specialized type of analytic, let's say financial econometrics. So you tend to have Eviews. So Eviews is a one of the very popular tools when it comes to financial econometrics. Like in qualitative research, we have SPSS, which is made by SCL, SPSS. Then Stata, MATLAB. This way, there are numerous number of tools, but all these tools are dedicated to one industry. Most of the tools are dedicated to one industry. Like Stata is more for statistical analysis, MATLAB for mathematical operations, Eviews is more towards the industry of financial econometrics. Microsoft Excel is a general tool, can be used for multivariate purposes or multiple type of analysis. SPSS is more for qualitative research type of thing. So all these tools, or most of these tools, are dedicated to one particular domain, one particular area of study. So analysis was happening always. It was always there. My side is not flowing because I'm not actually moving it. I'm on the same slide. Okay. So where I was, yeah. So what I was saying is that all these tools were dedicated to a certain sector, to a certain area of study, except some general tools like Microsoft Excel. So analysis was happening, but it was more tool oriented. Obviously, every tool has some kind of limitation. I think we all understand this very well. I can use a certain tool up to the extent it has been defined. If I want to have flexibility of, let's say, defining my own method or something like that, it is very difficult or maybe almost impossible to do that with a tool, because a tool is a predefined kind of scenario. So I don't have flexibility of, if I want to do something different. So analysis was happening, was definitely happening from last many generations, but with the help of, like, when technology was not there, then it was happening manually with the help of pen and paper. When technology start coming in, we started doing analysis with the help of different tools. Now post 2012, there was a demand in the industry that we should have a programming language that is dedicated to the purpose of data analytics. And this term was then designated as data science in one of the papers. And from there it started getting popular because the world realized that this concept is actually good. Means we never thought of using a programming language for the purpose of doing analysis. We always limited ourselves to, to tools, different kind of tools. So this concept started gaining popularity, and and I'm talking about like 2013, 14, 15. That's the time I'm talking about. Now, these are the periods when uh, we had languages like, uh, let's say, C. Is it moving now? Because I am currently on the same PPT. So I'm not moving the slide currently. So you just need to listen to me for some time. Okay. Don't worry. So I have not come to the second slide because it's a story of evolution. So you just need to listen to me for some time. All right. Understood? All right. I'm a person who is very less dependent upon slides, more dependent upon storytelling. So I'm a kind of more a storyteller type of situation with me. Okay. All right. So it was a period of 13, 14, 15, round about 2013 to 15, I'm talking about. And most of the languages that we had that point of time was C and Java. And both these languages were dedicated for developers, So like, sometimes someone wins the race, someone wins the race who was never in the competition. So Python came out of it. Like Python is not like it has been developed in last 2-3 years. Python is a very old language, but it was never probably, appreciated by developers, because for them C is the best language when it comes to development, followed by Java. So C and Java, it has been, these two languages have been very favorite when it comes to development. So Python actually never became popular in terms of development. Now, this was an opportunity that was perhaps exploited by Python. And in 2015, all the major packages that we have in Python, the packages that were there with reference to analysis, they started working actively, because they realized that now it is the time that the world is demanding a language that could help people, give them more power, give them more flexibility in their analytical operations. And that's where, ladies and gentlemen, Python exploited this requirement. Post 2015, most of the popular packages and libraries we have in Python, they started getting funding, like pandas, numpy. These are some of the popular libraries. They started getting funding and they started getting popular. Now, it's like when we talk about Python, that why Python? If you ever have heard of any interview of the founder of Python, you will realize that this person was a damn visionary like anything. He was never given his due. That's a different thing. Before this, before this development of data analytics in Python, but the vision of the creator of Python was very simple. He had a vision that I want to develop a language. Listen to this carefully. I want to develop a language where the code writing could be as simple as writing an English sentence. The vision of the creator of Python was very straightforward, that I want to create a language which could be, or where code writing could be as simple as writing a English statement. So Python, when it was developed keeping this one particular concept in the head. And that is the reason that Python actually became one of the more, most user friendly in that terms. So one of the core reason that why Python became like this popular, and one of the major reason is the code writing, the scripting in Python. The language has been designed in such a way that even if you belong to a non-technical background, even if you have never done any coding in your life, even if you are a totally fresher, maybe graduating from some different stream, but if you have flair for data, if you have passion to work with data, you are open to learn Python. We don't say this, the industry never say this in terms of C and Java, but Python is one language which can be learned by a non-technical or a non-IT person as well. That is the reason for all the Python oriented courses, you will never see an eligibility that you must have some previous experience in Python or in coding, or you must belong to an IT background, or you must belong to a technical background. You will never see such eligibilities in any particular area of study which is applying Python, because it's a programming language which is extremely user friendly, and therefore even a non-IT professional or a non-technical profession can learn it very easy. Just you need two things. You need one, you need flair for data, because if you don't have flair for data, you are not passionate about this field, then sorry, I think you should drop it right now. But if you have the right passion, if you really believe in this field of data science, data analytics, if you have core interest in numbers, performing analysis, then welcome to the world of data science. As simple as this is. But programming language is not the problem here. The problem is your passion, your understanding, or whether how much you are open to transit or maybe develop your careers in this particular field. We don't have any restrictions. We don't have any restrictions in terms of your technicality. We don't have any restriction in terms of your background. We don't have any restriction in terms of your whether you have a done coding in the past or not. But yes, we have a core interest in the fact that whether you have flair for data or not, whether you are interested in making the career in the field of data analysis or not, or whether you are actually flair, not flavor, flair, or whether you actually want to make your career in this field, maybe a fresh career, maybe a transition, or whatever it is. And before I move ahead, I have one question for you people. You need to tell me how many languages do you need to know to communicate with the rest of the business world? And don't answer me in a hurry. Please think the reference of this question first. Please think the reference of this question first and then answer me. I'm strictly asking in terms of data science. How many languages you need to know to communicate with the rest of the business world? That's my question. And I want a one word answer. That's it. One word answer. English. I'm asking you the name of the language, not one. Okay, one is absolutely correct that we need one. That's absolutely perfectly right. Okay, one Python. Python is obviously the common point here. Very good, Kavaljeet. Fantastic, fantastic. My dear friends, Python is by default present. Are you understanding? Everything is built around Python. Everything is built around English. So there is nothing new about these two things. Please understand. There is nothing new about English. There is nothing new about Python, because these two things are definitely present in data science. But what is the ideal thing that is, which is the language of data, the language of data. If you know, please now come back to the first definition that I gave you. I told you that this world is asking for those people. Listen to me carefully. I told you that the world is asking for those people who can read data, understand data, explore data, visualize data, gather insights from the data, and communicating those insights to the right people. In all these steps, there is only one thing common, which is data. Can you do any analysis without data? You tell me. You have Python, you have English, you have everything, whatever you think. But can you perform anything without data? Can you even start without data? As simple as it is. Tell me. Despite of having everything, can you even start the process of analysis without data? You have Python, you have English, you have every resource that you want, but you don't have data. Now tell me, without data, is it viable? No, it's not at all viable. So the only thing which is not common here, yes, it's like having a high-end machine, but no material, no input. So what you need to understand here is, my dear friends, what you need to understand here is, if you know the right way of interacting with data, if you know the language of dealing with data, if you know how to read data, if you know how to visualize data, if you know how to explore data, if you know how to gather insights from the data, if you know how to report it to the right people, you are free to communicate with the rest of the world without any problem, because a data has no barrier. Please understand, a data doesn't suffers from language barrier. A number has no meaning, right? A number is not English, a number is not French, a number is not Spanish. Data is data, right? Data is something which is beyond the language barrier. Data is something which is beyond the translation barrier. Data is something which you have to know, or you should have the right passion to work with it, and you are in a ready to go state, and you are in a ready to go state. And all those things which actually made Python popular in the area of data analytics or in the area of data science: one, it is open source, and it is a general purpose language. That means it can actually build anything. It can work in any area, any sector, any industry. There's no limitation. Yes, I hope you can see my slides, right? My slides getting changed, all of you. I'm just confirming because Dorji has some problem. Dorji, I think it's the only problem with you. Rest of the people are perfectly good with this. So just try to rejoin once. I think that will be solved. Ah, thank you so much. So Python is general purpose. That means we can use it for any purposes, for any requirement, in any sector, in any industry of our choice. And there are numerous amount of Python packages which can be used for the purpose of data science or data analytics. Now, what package you should use, what library you should use, that's a different matter of discussion. So once you will people, I will give you a hint today, but when you will people have the course or you will think of making career in this field, you'll be learning everything. The official website of Python, if you want to explore, is python.org. If you want to explore, that's python.org. That is only for your experience. It's not a very dynamic type of website, but it is good to have a feel, right? You know why Python was named as Python? Anyone knows why the founder of this company named it Python? No, it's a very interesting thing. How he thought about this. Monty Python. Very good. Absolutely. So, Guido van Rossum means the founder of Python, right? So he was reading some scripts from one of his favorite series in 1970s. I'm telling you. So there was a BBC comedy series by the name of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Monty Python's Flying Circus. So Guido was looking for some unique name, so he decided to call this language as Python. So the Python word is actually he took from his favorite series, which is by the name of Monty Python's Flying Circus, and that was used to be a comedy series in early 1970s and all. So Van Rossum was very much liking into this particular series, so he named it as Python. So that's the story, that how Yeah, that's a very funny type of scenario. Means he logically never thought of that why Python. There is no logic behind keeping the Python. He only actually, probably kind of dedicated this name to his favorite series, which is Monty Python's Flying Circus. So that was Van Rossum, Guido von Rossum, the founder of Python, the creator of Python. So Python, as I said, one of the prime reasons that why Python is one of the most open language for all the people. All the people means whether they belong to technical or non-technical background, is that it's general scripting. The vision of the creator of Python was very clear. The vision of the creator of Python was very clear, that I want to have a language which every person can access, every person can learn, and every person can work with without any restriction. His ideology, his concept became successful post 2013-15, when when this world actually started demanding a programming language that could be used for performing analytics. So Python, easy to learn, and one of the major reason is uh, its general scripting. Give me a minute, please. Yeah. So it is now in 2022. Python is considered to be one of the most ideal languages when we talk about any kind of application, any kind of industry, any kind of area. The success of Python has become twofold like anything in a very short time. And let me tell you, in terms of ranking, Python is now at number 2. Ideally, the first two spots were belonging to C and Java, but in terms of usage, Python has jumped to number 2 position. So that's the level of development that has happened to Python. And see, on a honest note, like when I talk about data science, understand this, on a honest note, when I talk about data science, so look around yourself. Just look around yourself, and you will understand that your world is actually filled of algorithms, smart machines. Just turn around yourself, just try to visualize yourself only, and feel that your world is actually surrounded by algorithms. Look at your mobile phones, all those Apple users. You have Siri in your phone, yes or no? Hmm? All those Android users, you have this Google Assistant, or all those Alexa people. Hmm? Like I have an Alexa device at my place. What do you think these are? What do you think these are? When you talk to these machines, you ask them to set up a schedule for you. You ask them to set up a reminder for you. I ask Alexa to play songs for me, and blah, 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 blah. What we are actually doing, my dear friends, we are actually taking help of algorithms. We are actually taking help of smart machines, which are making all these things possible for us. There was a time, I think early 2000s, if I'm not wrong, I was in school, and we used to make a joke. I still remember that was a time when we had some Hollywood movies like Terminator and all, right? So where machines are coming, the people are talking to machines. So we used to laugh. That was a time we used to joke around. Oh, this is never possible. How a human will talk to a machine, and how a machine will respond to the human. That was 22 years back. Now in 2022, when I see, things have totally changed. It's damn there in my phone. It's everywhere. Just look around. It's everywhere. How many of you people are Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatsoever, any kind of OTT app? I think you people must be using something or nothing. YouTube. Okay, YouTube. So let's take YouTube itself. or Netflix or Amazon Prime, means as a kind of any app, any app, any OTT app or any e-commerce app or whatsoever. Have you ever seen that when you go on these apps, they start giving you recommendations? Have you ever seen when you go on these apps, they give you recommendations about the movies or let's say probably the series that you might prefer to watch, right? You might prefer to watch, isn't it? I think most of you people might have realized that. Or even if you go to any e-commerce website, let's talk about any e-commerce website. If you go on any e-commerce website and you are shopping something, as soon as you make something in cart, you add something in cart, it starts giving you recommendations about maybe let's say frequently bought items, that okay, these are the items. Chai, huh? Just give me a minute, please. So all these apps, so once you add something to cart, let's say you're going on e-commerce website, you add something to cart, so it starts giving you like uh frequently bought items. Have you ever seen frequently bought items? Like if you're buying a mobile phone, let's say if you're buying a mobile phone, it starts recommending you to buy let's say a mobile cover plus a temper glass, because people tend to buy these things together. This is very common thing. Let's say you search anything on Facebook and on Google and you surf it for 10-15 minutes. Trust me, if you are searching for a product, let's say only for the purpose of your research, you want to buy something or you are interested in something and you are searching on Google, then trust me, your life gonna become hell, because your every social media platform on which you are will start showcasing you the ads of the similar product. Have you ever seen that? You search something in Google for some time, and then every social network which you follow, it starts giving you recommendation of those kind of products, and your life becomes hell because you are fed up. you you never wanted that. This is so common. Like this is so common. This is such a common problem that we have. I think I am very frustrated with this stuff. I don't know about you, but I'm very frustrated. Okay. I think many of you might be on Twitter, right? So when you log into your Twitter, let's say you are logging to your Twitter, so it shows you certain tweets at the top, isn't it? But those tweets might be different for me. Like in a Netflix, my recommendations might be different from your recommendations. Somebody else's recommendation might be different from my and yours recommendation. In the similar way, when I'm logging to Twitter, the tweets which are being shown to me might be different than you, right? Because the algorithm analyze that what type of accounts I'm following, what type of tweets I'm interacting with, and based on that, it tends to feel that okay, these are the kinds of tweet which probably this user would like to see. The same is Instagram also. The same is Instagram also, right? The Instagram, the same story. What should be in your explore tab depends upon your search history, the accounts you are following, the type of posts you are interacting. Everything is connected. How many of you have heard of Quora? Quora. Quora. Same with LinkedIn. With every social media platform, the same story. Have you heard of Quora? Quora. So what is Quora? Right? People ask questions, and then there are participants who, or the users who respond to that question, right? Now there might be 10 responses to that question. There might be 100 responses to that question. There might be 200 responses to that question. I don't know. Depends. Now, Quora needs an algorithm to understand, needs an algorithm to understand which answer is more thorough, which is making more logic, which is more related to the underlying question, and then it decides which answer should be taken at the top, or which answers should be shown at the top ranking answers. See, my point of telling you is this is that there is no manpower, there's there is no human who is sitting in the background and doing this all this stuff. My point of giving you all these examples is that there is no human in the background who is actually sitting and doing this stuff. It's all algorithm. It's all algorithm. Smart machines. Whenever you get time, go to YouTube. Whenever you get some time, go to YouTube, and there you take a look at the world's first social humanoid robot by the name of Pepper. 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 Pepper AI. It is created by SoftBank Robotics. Pepper is a world social humanoid robot. That means it can interact with humans just like a human. So whatever questions you will ask Pepper, the Pepper will respond to you just the way human responds. So whenever you go to YouTube, try to take a look. There's a video on that where you can see a human interviewer on one side, and on the other side this human interviewer is actually taking interview of Pepper. Very interesting video. I suggest you to take a look whenever you get time. Like now we have algorithms. My dear friends, look at the development. Yes, it's Pepper AI. Now, my dear friends, we are living in a world where healthcare industry is revolutionizing like anything. We have algorithms that can detect the possibility of a disease based on your health records. You feed your health records in the algorithm. Let's say, for example, your sugar levels, your weight, your BMI, your height, uh, let's say your insulin level, uh, uh, and all those stuff. And based on those inputs, it will predict that what is the possibility of being a heart disease to you or diabetes to you. Now we have super imaging machines that can scan even a single cell of your body. We have such imaging machines that can scan even the single most cell of your body, which automatically is helping doctors in early detection of disease and probably giving you better advices. In University of California, there are a group of researchers who are actually working to build a model, who are actually working to build a model or build an algorithm that could understand the thoughts of a user and convert them into sentences. That could understand the thoughts of a user and convert them into sentences. So all those people who cannot speak, probably it would be a great thing for them. Then gesture recognition, like all those people who cannot talk. So, with the help of their body language, the algorithm can decode that what this person is trying to say. Because I'm not a specialized person in body languages. So even if I'm meeting a person probably who cannot speak, it will be very difficult for me to understand his or her gestures. So we have the gesture recognition algorithms now. So whatever gesture, whatever body language movement he or she will do, it will tell me that what does it actually means. My dear friends, our world has become part of algorithms. We are algorithms. To be very honest, our life is algorithm. We ourselves have become algorithm. Everything everything around us is an algorithm. Everything around us is an algorithm, is a model. It's a smart machine that has been working. And that is the reason we are talking about data science now. That is the reason we have a hype in data science. And data science is actually a very wide word. It's not a narrow word. It doesn't uh, talks about a particular area. Data science is a word which is very wide and talks about lots of area of study, like includes lots of area of study within itself. Like one of the most popular areas is machine learning. Like one of the most popular areas is machine learning. Machine learning or predictive analytics, where you build models to make predictions. One of the Now it is not like that machine learning development has happened in last some years. No, the major developments of all the machine learning methods, all the machine learning algorithms was done between 1986 to 2006. That means in these 20 years, all the major developments were done in the area of machine learning. But the kind of hype, the kind of demand, the kind of requirement, the kind of challenge that we have today with data exploding like anything, we never had it in past some years. And that's the reason that today, if you talk about Python, Python is one of the most used language in corporates when it comes to machine learning. Machine learning is also referred to as statistical modeling. The way we define data science as performing data analytics using a programming language, machine learning is defined as performing statistical modeling with the help of a programming language. So it is not like that the world was not performing statistical modeling before the language. No, world was doing it. Statistics is as old. I think it is maybe 100 years old. I don't know. I never seen this, but it's a very old concept. The world has been doing statistics from a very long time, I think generations. But the data explosion was never there. Please understand, the kind of data explosion that we have today, my dear friends, we never had it 20 years back. We never had it 30 years back. We never had it 10 years back. This explosion has especially been there post 2010 and 12. And that is the reason that this particular area of study, this particular subject has gained so much of relevance and so much of importance. Today, if I talk about corporates, those people who are already working, I train like lots of people in corporates. I had so many corporate clients, right from Autoliv to Prakat Technologies. I have Infosys clients with me. I have Smart Cube. I have Dalrada Corporation. I have so many clients. I have trained employees of so many excellent clients, and all those people are learning Python to apply this in their companies. In terms of usage, 65%. Now, this is based on 2020 survey. We don't have the similar survey so far, but I think this might have increased rather than decreasing. But overall, 60-70% people tend to use Python in corporate, followed by R. R is another interesting language, but like Python is general purpose, R is more domain based. That means it is too good in certain domains, but not good otherwise. So R is more general purpose, so can be used for any application. So we have lots of third-party vendors, third-party suppliers who actually contribute to Python. In case of R is more close-ended scenario. R is like a more close-ended scenario. So it's a particular domain-based language, but yes, very powerful, very effective in research. That's the reason in academics, in research, in scientific world, science and engineering, R is very much used as compared to Python, but its usage is limited as compared to Python. Its usage is, as I told you that in today's reference, Python is at spot number 2 in terms of popularity and usage of languages. It is at spot number 2. And if you, these respondents that were taken, like the results are based on these people. 36% respondents were from the IT or the ITS industry, 18% technology, 16% BFSI. BFSI means banking and financial services, 7% from e-commerce and retail, 7% from pharma, and so on. That was the the respondent structure, that's on the basis of which results are there. So R and Python together, like if I take this much portion only, R and Python together leads to 82% of the total contribution. SQL is another kind of tool or language, not language probably, I will say the tool, which is used in the purpose of database management, which is used in database management. So SQL as such is not a very useful tool when it comes to analysis of data, but yes, in creating databases, handling databases, managing databases, SQL is one of the very effective tools which we work with. And as I told you that Python is made up of libraries, like there are third-party libraries who have actually contributed like anything to the success of Python in the world of data science. Listen to me very carefully. There are many third-party libraries, third-party packages, which have actually contributed to the success of Python in the world of data science. Like one is Pandas. As a data scientist, if you think of making a career in the field of data science, your 60 to 70% of time will be dedicated to this one particular package, which is Pandas, because this is one package which deals with data pre-processing. Data pre-processing means before you actually feed data into any algorithm, it is important that you first structure it. You first position it in the right state and the right form. And Pandas is one of the most effective library that does it for you. Numpy, for all those people who in science and engineering backgrounds, Numpy and SkyPy are most important to you. Numpy basically works with numbers only. Numpy means numerical Python. The full form of Numpy is numerical Python. So the usage of Numpy is dedicated to numbers only in the form of arrays, that is matrix like structure. Then for machine learning, that is statistical modeling, we have scikit-learn, one of the most preferred libraries. Then for visualization, when you want to convert your data into plots, charts, and diagrams, we have the matplotlib, which is again one of the most used library when it comes to working with Python. So these are certain packages, certain libraries, which will be very crucial for you when you will be building your career in the field of data science. The way we have machine learning, there is another interesting area. I'm not going to detail of that, but there's another interesting area which has gained popularity after 2012. That means before 2012, the world was as such never aware of that. But post 2012, this area has been a complete revolution, and we call it as the deep learning. The deep learning, I don't know how many of you are aware, but deep learning, another very interesting area of study uh, in data science, and uh, it's like a high-end type of scenario. So before 2012, the world was as such not aware about deep learning, but after 2012, when it came in the picture, it has revolutionized the industry like anything. And there are two main packages which we can use while working with deep learning. One is TensorFlow and second is PyTorch. NumPy rows is used for working with numbers. It's a library which dedicated to numbers only in the form of an arrays. So in most of the engineering or scientific cases, NumPy is very commonly used along with another library, which is SkyPy, that is scientific Python, that allows you to use all the scientific operations that we have in science and engineering fields. But as a data scientist, NumPy is most significant for you as a helper library. Like if I talk strictly in terms of data science, then NumPy will be more or less a helper library to you. You shall not be using at a very high grade level, but yes, as a helper library, it will be of great usage to you. And these are some more statistics regarding different things. हेलो हाँ जी
हेलो सर, आपका जोमेटो से ऑर्डर है आपको।
भेज दो यार, जो भी है, क्यों परेशान हो। All right, so these are some more statics. I will not get into that. And yes, this is something you should know. that when you are working with Python, you need an interface. Like any language, you need an interface. We call them as IDEs, like Integrated Developers Environment. The most popular environments include Jupyter and PyCharm. These are not as such very popular. And nowadays we have some cloud-based IDs as well. Nowadays we have some cloud-based IDs as well, like Colab. Have you heard of Google Colab? Have you heard of Google Colab? You are right, Arnold. Numpy is preferable in that terms. I will tell you about the scope of AI. Not in Dubai. Like if you don't ask in terms of Dubai, nothing is country based nowadays. Google Colab is one of the cloud-based environment. Google Colab is one of the cloud-based environment where you don't have to do any kind of pre-setups or pre-environmental setups. So it makes your life easy. Plus, for high-end tasks which require a lot of time or time-consuming tasks, you can also access GPUs for free, graphical processing units for free. So that automatically speed up your work. So GPUs are very commonly available in Colab. It's available for free. You can use it, but majorly for high-end purposes, for simple work or for most of the machine learning work, we don't need this. But yes, for high-end works like Google Colab, like deep learning and image analytics, we tend to work with Google Colab. Like my choice in high-end uh, uh, works is your this Google Colab. Especially when I work with deep learning areas, I tend to use with the Colab part rather than Jupyter or PyCharm. As such, there is no compulsion, but it's all about delivering more efficiency. GCP, what you're actually referring to, Frolian? GCP means you mean to say Google Cloud, if I'm not wrong? Frolian, if you can answer me. Are you referring to Google Cloud? Cloud basically, Google Cloud using data science in data science. I think Frolian is gone somewhere. Yeah, Google Cloud now. So that's what Google Cloud is like for cloud purpose. Like if you want to use Google Cloud platform, so that is using a cloud-based scenario for the purpose of data science. So I will not say it is more used, but yes, gradually this thing is becoming popular. Using clouds for the purpose of machine learning procedures and all that thing, it is gradually becoming popular. Whether it is Google Cloud or let's say it might be your Azure. So that is also gradually becoming popular. So, but this is more like, a separate kind of area in the sense like you need to first work with the learning part and then you can have the cloud training. Like if I want to execute everything using Google Cloud, how can I do that? So it is not about more usage. It is more about the requirement. So yes, nowadays cloud is getting very popular, whether Google Cloud or Azure or whatsoever. But first need to work on the learning part. Once you know how to run algorithms, how to work with that, then yes, you can go for the cloud training and can work with that. But it is not everywhere. It's not like cloud requirement is everywhere. In certain organizations, they have started asking for cloud, but very, very few organizations. So as such, it's not, but gradually it is getting that hype, but it's not like to a top level for the time being. Overall, as a cloud, I'm talking about not only Google Cloud, but as a cloud interface, I'm talking about. Now, in your career, the final thing which I want to talk about is your career opportunities. Because see, we have different domains here. Like when we typically talk about the data scientist profile, that means you are the person who is responsible right from reading of data to gathering insight and to communicating it. That's what you are supposed to do as a data scientist. And normally, when we talk about data scientists, it is more like with reference to usage of programming language like Python. But this term is still more popular in IT companies. Like if IT companies want to hire a person that could perform analytics in Python or using Python, then they tend to use data scientists. In non-IT companies, like let's say banking and financial industry or equity industry, the word quantitative analyst or data analyst is more popular. Typically, more or less the job is same, but data analyst or quantitative analyst profiles could be based on some other tools as well, let's say Excel or something else. But data science is more strictly denoted to usage of programming language. But assuming, see why I'm telling this term is because when you will start searching for jobs or for opportunities in this field, different companies are using different terms. Some companies are using data scientists, some companies are still using quantitative analyst, some companies are using data analyst only. So never go on the basis of keyword. Never ever just reject an opportunity on the basis of keyword. Go inside and please look into some of the description of job, because that's gonna tell you that whether it is offering you what you desire or not. I'm telling you because I have seen most of the candidates dropping the opportunities only on the basis of keyword. No, here the word quantitative analyst is mentioned, so I will this job is not for me. Please, that's not the case. There is a very thin line of difference between data scientist and a quantitative analyst. In majority cases, assuming that both are requiring or both require a professional that can interact with Python. So that means in most of the case, this could be an IT company and this could be a non-IT company. In certain cases, quantitative analyst is a more generalized word, which can belong to like the company needs an analyst, but not on Python base, but maybe like Excel or some other tool base. But you have to study, like you need to really look into this, like what the job is demanding. Data engineer is a very different field. Data engineering is not data science. Let me clarify you here itself. Data engineering is not at all data science. Data engineering talks more about data ingestion, data handling, data management. So data engineers are the people whose job is to manage the exponential huge amount of data that is rapidly adding day by day. These people don't perform analysis. Data engineers are not supposed to perform analysis. In a typical company, a team of data engineers is built outside data science profile. So these people, these data engineers, are first responsible for extracting, handling, managing the entire data. That means complete ETL pipeline, which we say extract, transform, and load. Complete ETL pipeline. They are responsible for that. So data engineers nowadays, they are in demand. There's no doubt, but their area is very different. Typically, now the industry is also demanding them to be good in big data analytics. That means having knowledge of Hadoop and Spark, apart from ETL pipelines and data ingestion. So data engineers are supposed to work on data ingestion part, ETL part, handling big data, handling big data, ETL, ETL, extract, transform and load. Data ingestion is all about extract, transform and load. So data ingestion, ETL pipelines, handling the entire database, especially if your company is in big data, then you need to work with languages like Spark, Hadoop, Apache Kafka. So big data analytic is a very different world. But all those people who are interested in making their career in the field of data engineering, they have to learn these techniques like Spark, Hadoop and all. Without them, it is very difficult because industry is now demanding for all those people who want to make careers in the field of data engineering. The industry is demanding them to be good in terms of big data tools as well, big data languages as well, which includes Spark and Hadoop, especially, or maybe Kafka or Hive and Apache Pig and so on. So this is a very separate field. It has nothing to do with data science. It is not data science. Data science are the people who talk about solving a business problem. Data scientists are those people who talks about solving a business problem by performing analytics. Data engineering is a very different profile, has nothing context with data science. So please don't mix them up. Data engineers are different, data scientists are different. But yes, you can think of making your career as a machine learning scientist. Like one is data scientist. So data scientist, now that totally depends upon the company's requirement. They are asking for professionals whom they want to restrict in core analytics. Core analytics means up till data pre-processing. The pandas library that I told you. So as a core analytics professional, as a core data science professional, your job would be up till the pre-processing and statistical exploration of the data. That's it. That means you will not be building any prediction models. You will not be performing any kind of predictive analytics. But if the company is asking for machine learning scientists or data scientists with experience in machine learning, then that means company is asking for those professionals who know how to build models, prediction models. They know how to do predictive modeling. They know how to use different kinds of machine learning algorithm. So if your area of interest is predictive modeling, especially if your area of interest is predictive modeling, especially like this is the area you love, then yes, you can think of being a machine learning scientist or a data scientist who wants to work with predictive modeling as well. We normally call it as predictive modeling or predictive analytics. Beyond machine learning, then we have careers like deep learning scientist. But deep learning is the problem with deep learning is that there is no doubt that this is a very revolutionary field, but this has occurred after 2012 only. So it is a very unexplored field, very unexplored field. You will not find much opportunities in deep learning now. I don't know about after 5 years, but now maybe for next 2-3 years, I don't expect this sector to open in terms of job opportunities because it's a very specialized field. Learning is not difficult, but this is a field which is still in the evolution phase. So the researchers and the scientists all over the world are still working on it and finding its possibilities. So that's why most of the usage of deep learning is in very high-end companies for very high-end projects. So as a deep learning scientist, your opportunities are not that open now, but maybe for, let's say, after 5-8 years, when this industry will be more commercialized, then probably we can find the gaps there as well. But currently, I think this machine learning scientist, which you can definitely look forward to, and you can think of making your career in this particular direction. Am I clear with this to all of you? Clear? Deep learning, my dear friend, is more in case of image analytics. Like every area of study, listen to me very carefully. Every area of study is dedicated to one certain set of data. Like its success story is lies in dealing with one certain type of data. Let's say, for example, when I uh, 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 talk about machine learning, the success of machine learning is dealing with quantifiable data or a quantitative data. The success of deep learning is dealing with images. In deep learning, we don't talk about quantitative analysis. In deep learning, we don't talk about quantitative analysis. We don't talk about dealing with tables and number data. Deep learning is a field whose success area lies in images, videos, sounds, all this self-driving car concept or this automated car concept, which has become possible in last a short time, all thanks to deep learning. So deep learning is an area which is dedicated to images, videos, and sound, majorly to images. But now in last some time, we have started making developments in the area of videos and sounds as well. Similarly, there is one area you might have heard of. There's another area of study, which is NLP. Have you heard of NLP? NLP, natural language processing, NLP. So NLP is one area where the success is on the text data, text, right? A text data is a very specialized kind of data. A text data is a very specialized kind of data. It's a sequential data. Like, there's a sequential data and non-sequential data. All the areas of study which we have, whether machine learning or deep learning, they deal with non-sequential data, where order of the data doesn't matter. But text data is one data where sequence matters. Like, for example, I say, I like you, or I say, you like. In both the cases, though I have used similar three words, but still the context differs. The first sentence is correct. The second sentence is not correct because it is not delivering with the right context. So text is one data where sequence matters. And therefore it's very specialized data, and we have a very separate field which is dedicated to it by the name of NLP, that is natural language processing. So every area of study is dedicated to a certain data. The success story lies in a certain data type. All right. Understood? Anything else you want to ask? I have stopped the slides, my dear friend. I am done. Now, if you want to ask anything, please let me know. If there's anything, if you want to talk about, anything you want to ask, I'll most happy to answer you. Or any curiosity that you have in your heart and soul that you want to place, please place it in the chat box. And I will be happy to answer you. Recording, I think Shamya will clear. I'm not aware of this recording part. From what you know, what type of file do they usually use for studio processing in industry? See, normally it is the HDFS format. Like if you are dealing with the specialized system, so we have the HDF5 format, which is normally used. Normally HDF5. No, data engineers ultimately work around language only, Rose. Data engineers work around language only. It's not like that. The only thing is their purpose is different. They will be also using the same language, but their tools, their packages will differ because their purpose is different. So it is not like that if you are doing data engineering, you are not using programming language. Ultimately, you are using programming language, but the purpose is different. For storage of data, as I told you, my dear friend, that normally if you are in big data analytics, it is mostly in Hadoop system. So HDF5 format that you in most of the cases getting. If you are dealing with quantitative data, listen to me, if you are dealing with quantitative data, like tabular structured data, so most of the data in industry you will find in the form of CSV. Okay, so it depends upon what type of data you are working with. In machine learning, since we mostly have quantitative data in the form of tabular structure, so most of the times you will find data in Excel file or a CSV format. In big data scenario, it is more in HDF5 format. In case of images, it is mostly in .dat format or .tsv format. So depends from scenario to scenario as such. Yes, it's very important. Statistics is very important, my dear friends, especially if you want to make your career in machine learning. Like as a data scientist, what I believe is the logic of learning data science exists only if you want to make your career in machine learning, because that is the first major area of study which has huge opportunities, huge amount of job opportunities. And since machine learning itself means that you want to do statistical modeling using a programming language, you should have some statistical knowledge, but it is not important. Means it's not like that you should have a statistical background. Because normally when we take up the course, we cover the basic statistics that we think a person should know. Because I know that people might be coming from different backgrounds, so they might not be knowing anything about statistics. So we always make sure we keep a module on statistics specifically, so that all those people who are belonging to different backgrounds and they perhaps never seen statistics, we should be introducing them to that world. So that's always the part of the module, and that's intentional because we know that people will be from different backgrounds and different fields. See, Python is good enough for uh, for the purpose of data science or machine learning, my dear friend John. That's good enough. You really don't have to be dependent upon any other language to do that. No, that's not required. So don't but be worryless about this. This is an interesting question. Which country I suggest? Very difficult. Means nowadays it is very difficult. Sometime back, if you asked me a question before pandemic, I would have still been able to answer you on this. But uh, it's very difficult. That to name a country, to be honest, not. Uh, in Google Colab, is there practice files with world data for data? Renaud, if you can clarify this question more, means I'm not able to connect to this question. In Google Colab, you don't have practice files as such. Whatever files you want to load, either you load it manually from your local machine, or like we have different libraries where data sets are inbuilt. Like scikit-learn, we have a lot of data sets. TensorFlow, we have a lot of data sets. So the data sets are not inbuilt in Colab, they are inbuilt in the respective libraries. So if you want to fetch any data, you can fetch it from the respective library. Yes, organizations tend to use Google Cloud or Google Data Studio, Kawaljeet, but as such, I cannot generalize this. I mean, if you'll ask me on a general note, I cannot generalize this, but yes, different organizations are nowadays using different kind of interfaces, which includes Google Data Studio as well. Though it has not become that popular, but yes, I think gradually, since we are moving towards the cloud, so this might gain that popularity which we are thinking.
All right, thank you.
See, in terms of difference between data analytics and data science, I have been very clear to you on this. Data science is performing analytics with the help of a language. Like data analytics has been a very common word over a period of time, but most of the analytics we have been performing with the help of tools. But data science specifically talks about using it for the purpose of language. And then obviously, since we were dependent upon tools, we had a lot of limitations while working with analytical processes. With the help of programming languages, those limitations are automatically reduced. We got that level of flexibility which tools cannot give us, but languages can do. For a newcomer, Fahim, I will say that, like, if your base is correct, like companies may ask for 2 to 5 years of experience, but I have seen profiles where companies asking for a fresher with 10 to 15 years of experience also. So don't get into that too much. But what I suggest is keep your base correct. Like your data science skills should be very good. Plus, try to go or try to evolve yourself in Microsoft Excel. Because for freshers, companies expect the learner to know at least intermediate level of Excel. At least. So if you know the intermediate level of Excel along with the complete data science, I think that will help you in getting the uh, right opportunity which you are looking for. So you have to add some value additions to your profile. You can add some tools like Power BI to your profile. So that will automatically let the companies hire you over others. So you have to increase your value addition. It's simple. You have to value add yourself. Content, Mustaq, they will tell you about the content. Content of learning is like, it's a gradual process. Like, as I said, one process is up till machine learning. Then post machine learning, we have deep learning. So it's a gradual process that is being taken. Yes, Python is good enough. So you really don't need to. I majorly work with machine learning. I am more into pure machine learning and 40-45% of deep learning. But most of my work is in machine learning. Deep learning is still a very restricted area in that terms. Yes, internships are always good. I mean, there's no doubt about that. There's nothing better than internships. Okay, I think this is good enough. Good enough for the day.
Thank you, Nikhil sir. It was a great job. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being with us today. We care about your opinions. And I think it was a very beautiful session and with a very informative idea. Next, as I told you before, we have an exciting offer for you. We have a participation certificate giving for all the participants who has joined us today. Finally, this time is for the announcement. We are happy to provide you the participation certificate for the attendees on the cost of only $20. If you want to know how to avail this, we have how to avail online payment, Stripe payment. We will put it on the chat box right away so that if you feel like if you want to have the participation certificate, you can go through. And this is the screen how it looks like. You just need to do the payment of $20, where in other 2 to 3 working days, we will provide you the participation certificate. And also one of our audience asked about the recording of the session. Yes, we will also provide you the recording of the session along with this certificate. It is the one-day offer, so please don't miss the exciting offer. Upon payment, once payment is successful, please send a screenshot to shamya@imcinstitute.ae, or you can give me a WhatsApp at +971 5277 40554. So as I told you before, it will be along with the participation certificate. You will also get the recording of this session. Don't miss this chance. And also for more information about our website, we are also providing you the website details. It is www.imcinstitute.ae, where not only about data science, you can also have many more options like Lean Six Sigma, PMP, and ITIL, and many more certificate programs. And I am also excited to talk about our next webinar, which is on free webinar on Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt, which is going to happen on June 25th. This is not the end. We have more webinars. One is the Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt. We will have project management. And the next seminar we have it is on game development. Get introduced to game development. So the seminar will be happened on 2nd of July. www.imc.ae will be the website of our company. And if you want to know more updates, you can please go like our LinkedIn page, where each and every seminar and every notification will be on your fingertips. Any other questions? I will wait for a few minutes. If you have any questions, any query, please let me know. Thank you so much, everyone. The certification is not free. It is $20. Along with this, we will be providing you the recording of this session, which is really informative and useful. IMC is also offering a program in Masters in Data Science with Python for 6 months, which is 120 hours. If you feel like availing the program, you can also get back to us on the mail ID as well as on the WhatsApp. Thank you, Fatma. Thank you, Krishna. It's our pleasure for this session. Thank you, Jimboy. I'll definitely do that. I will share the process of how to join for the master's program too. You can leave us a WhatsApp message on 971